Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel Wisdom Circle. I am back. Okay, I am back. So I was away last week, and the very lovely Goddess Iman, Light Guardian Goddess Iman, stood in for me and did an amazing job with you guys. So hopefully you guys got all of the messages. Okay, you marinated in them, soaked them all in because they were powerful. And so today we are back with the Channel Wisdom Circle, and we're going to be channeling, of course, the Cosmic Collective Consciousness and seeing what they have to say. So let's get started. Let's just get started. All right. So, what they want to talk about today is how the roles that you play take you away from yourself. There's a whole lot of layers to this message today. So the roles that you play, meaning the labels that you have on yourself, the masks that you wear. Okay, we're going there. So society is built around you and for you to keep you away from yourself. That's the first thing to really understand. Thank you, Felicia. That's the first thing to understand is the society that you live in right now is built to keep you away from yourself. And when it keeps you away from yourself, it keeps you away from your power. And when it keeps you away from your power, it makes you easier to control. Okay, you have to understand what's going on in this world and to you. And so when you are playing the different roles that you play, that you are orchestrated to play, they keep you focused on those roles and keep you focused, therefore, on a lot of times the wrong things. Good morning to you as well. So when you are focused on the wrong things and you are focused on your roles that have you so busy. Okay, let's just talk about the roles for a second. So busy all the time, your role of an entrepreneur, your role of whatever you do for work, if you're not an entrepreneur, if you your role of a parent, your role of all of these things that keep you consumed and also keep you a consumer. Okay, they keep you focused on those things, and the more you focus on all of these things that are going on in your life, the more you move away from yourself. It takes the focus away from here. It takes the focus away from your nature. And the more you take your focus away from your nature, again, the easier it is for you to be controlled by that. So what does society have you doing? It has you working. The grind, as they call it, right? It has you working. It has you focusing on social status. It has you focusing on money. It has you focusing on whatever else is going on. I have to do this, I have to do that. And then what happens when you're trying to do, yes, hustle culture, when you're trying to do all these different things, each one of those things feels like it's the end of the world and oh my God, it has to happen, right? And your nervous system activates. When your nervous system activates, then it really tells you this is what you need to focus on. Whatever is activating, know this, whatever is activating your nervous system, that is what your brain, your mind is going to immediately hone in on because it thinks that that's important. Because again, that's our primal brain thinking that a lion's coming after us, and whatever our nervous system is reacting to, that's what we need to be focusing on. So when your nervous system is reacting to the grind, the this, the that, all the things that are built within this society, you're moving away from yourself. And that doesn't mean don't make money. That doesn't mean go and do this and have goals and all the stuff we talk about. Your goals are necessary for your spirituality and for your life path. That is true. However, what's happening right now is people in the state we are in society today, and this isn't just American society, this is a lot of societies, that not all of them, but this is a lot of societies all over the world now, as we move more into the Western way. Okay, and honestly, the Western way is the disconnected way. Let's talk about that. Okay, message. All right, the Western way is the disconnected way. I'm going to give you some examples. Okay, now think about this. We move so far away from ourselves, we move away from nature. In society that you are living in right now, how close are you to nature in your daily life? Outside of if you're a person who goes for a walk and stuff like that, you should. But in your day-to-day life, you're in a building. you're in, and in those buildings, there's usually not a whole lot of nature happening, right? If you live in an apartment building, you live in a building. If you have a house with not a lot of land, you're literally not, in nature. We don't interact with nature that much. Understand that nature is our nature. So our bodies are literally made to, on a biological level, to correspond with nature. Nature has everything that we need to heal our bodies. So the example, we go to a doctor and they give us some pills. Guess where those pills are coming from? What they're doing in some lab somewhere is they're taking plants, they're isolating the compounds. Then they do different things to them. They add a bunch of other crap to it. They take out some of the supporting things and they just isolate that one compound. They put it into a pill and they give it to you. Meanwhile, you have those same plants growing in your backyard. How close are you to nature? This is the point. The society that has been built for us right now and that everyone is living in, and a lot of people don't even think about this at this point because you've been so indoctrinated. You don't even think about it, that you go to the doctor and take a pill, and they have everyone believing that these beautiful plants that offer so much nutrition to us and offer so much healing to us naturally, okay, that are free, again, because they want you to be consumers. These plants out here that are free, they have us calling them weeds, for example. For instance, the dandelion. People are spraying and killing dandelions in their yard. Dandelions are great for your blood pressure. They're great for your cholesterol. They're great for your heart. They're great for a lot of things. And also, from a medicinal standpoint, they're also great for energy work too. Amazing. You can do amazing things with the energy vibration of dandelion. Yet they have us killing those weeds because they're not sightly, okay, in our yard. Yet, what do? You go to the store and you buy a capsule full of dandelion root for your diuretic, to help your digestive system. Those same plants are growing in your yard and you are spraying them and killing them. But you very readily go to the store to buy something that does what that does. You very readily go to the pharmacy to get blood pressure medication. Those are the dandelion does what the most common medications in the world right now are for cholesterol, high blood pressure, heart conditions, blood conditions. Okay, the dandelion actually does all of that. Okay, so there's a lot of plants. I'm just using the dandelion as an example, but this is an example of the indoctrination, okay, that brings you further away from yourself. The further away you are from nature, the further away you are from your own nature. And why does nature correspond with your nature? Because it literally does. Why does the earth give us every single thing we need? Because it's meant to. That's how it's meant to go together. We are earthly beings, okay? We are also spiritual beings, but our physical bodies, our vessels are literally made, even our energy system, part of our vessel, is made for nature. It is made to correspond with nature, to work with nature. And the further you get away from that, the further you get away from yourself. And the more you begin to rely on things outside of yourself for your own health. And one thing that we always talk about here at Mystic Temple is the 3 pillars of life. And your vessel is number 1 of those 3 pillars. Your vessel is number 1, your vessel being your physical body and your energy body. That together is your vessel. That is the vehicle, energetically and physically, that you are moving through within this world. And if you are not, why is the vessel number 1? Because if you are not taking care of your vessel, then everything else falls. Now, how many of you have had health issues? Anyone who's had a major health issue knows this, okay? And I've had major health issues in the past. We know this. When your health is shoddy, your whole life it changes, right? Everything becomes harder. Everything, then you actually get into survival mode, and survival mode isn't always about financial stuff. Health issues can also put you into survival mode because you're literally trying to survive, and you're still trying to wear all these hats. You're still trying to play all these roles in your life. But if you start getting closer again to nature, go against whatever society says is normal. I always say to everyone, embrace your weird. You don't want to be normal. Normal is not a good thing in our society today. If you are normal, you are the average everyday person, and the average everyday person is unhealthy, unhappy, depressed, and lost. Okay, does that sound like something you want to be? If the answer is no, then you do not want to be normal. So stop doing normal things. Okay, you need to do abnormal things in today's society in order to really access your power. And let's talk about power for a second. Why does getting closer to nature and your own nature, thereby allowing why does that allow you to increase your power? What does that have to do with your power? Because the closer you get to yourself and the closer you get to your own vibration with nature, because nature is actually there to magnify us. If you've ever gone out in nature when you're in a bad mood, you come back in a better mood because it is literally we are literally made to be together. Okay. We are soulmates with nature. So if you are not getting enough nature in your life, and if you are also not going back to your nature, okay, and remembering your own power, then you will be powerless. And even when you are working on not being powerless, you will never be as powerful as you can possibly be. Okay, in terms of the height of your power, there really is no height of your power because we are limitless, but you will never even get close to that as long as you are continuing to be disconnected. So I'll give you another example with food. Okay, we are programmed that food has to come from a grocery store in today's society. That's not how it always was. That's not how it ever was, but it is that way now. In it started more so in well, there was a lot, but anyway, I won't go into all that. It's now get a whole history lesson. But health is definitely wealth. Yes, yes, that's my top priority, health and fitness. Yes, Glow Coach, exactly. So when when you are not close to nature, you're losing part of yourself. And let's go back to food. Sorry, I got off tangent. Let's go back to food. So we are programmed to go to grocery stores for food. But do you know, this is just an example because I've been watching YouTube a lot and I see people doing crazy things and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But did you know that you can take organic, okay, potato from the grocery store, okay, when it starts to grow roots, what do we normally do? We throw it out. Do you know, I see people on YouTube out here growing potatoes in Amazon boxes. So don't tell me you don't have you don't have space to grow your own produce. Okay, again, getting closer to nature. Why are you going to the grocery store getting all this stuff that is not a lot of times filled with a bunch of crap, not good for you, not good for your vessel? Okay, but we're programmed that that's where we get food from, right? That's where food comes from, is the grocery store. No, it comes from earth. It comes from the land. One potato can yield you 15 potatoes and continue to give you potatoes for life. One potato, okay? And that's just an example. And I'm not telling everybody to go out and you have to go out and start growing your own food, because that's also that also takes time and effort. However, if you do have time and effort to do it, then you should. I do definitely grow some things and I want to grow more, but this is how you can start to control also what you take into your body and really debunk and deprogram yourself from all this indoctrination that has happened over the years. And it's literally, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but this is a conspiracy, okay? So because it was literally a plan orchestrated against you many, many years ago, and that continues to be orchestrated against you. They continue to find ways. That's why you find a lot of seedless fruit, okay? Because they're trying to find ways to prevent people from growing their own food so they can keep you as consumers. Okay, so these are all the things that are going on, again, with the roles that you play, focusing on all these things in life. Okay, meanwhile, all these things are happening behind the scenes to take you away from your power, to take you away from your nature. Okay, and then you are stuck in this role. Before you know it, 50 years from now, no one's going to be able to grow anything because everything's going to be seedless. They're going to stunt growth, and they do stunt the growth of some things. If you buy something at the grocery store and try to grow it, you have to like do some things to remove things because they actually stunt the growth. Like they do that with ginger, so that if you can't just plant it without having to remove some of the film that they put on it or whatever. Tomatoes too, yeah. So anyway, I'm talking about food, but there's a lot of things. So the point here today is to pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention to what you're doing. Pay attention to how close you are or how far away you are from nature right now. And as you get closer to nature in your own way, in your own life, and however that works for you, okay, however that works for you, you will start to access more of your power because you will start to come home to self. Nature naturally heals us. Again, we are soulmates with nature. We are made to be in nature. Our bodies, our receptors, our energy system is made to be in nature. Nature naturally cleanses us. Nature is an energy healer. Okay? We have a natural energy healer right outside. All we have to do is walk in it. All we have to do is sit in it and be in it and appreciate it, because it is literally, we are one with nature, or we're supposed to be, but we have gone so far apart because we're focusing on these roles that have been given to us, that have been indoctrinated into us, that this is what life is. No, this isn't what life is. I need you to challenge these things in your mind and in your life. I need you to challenge the narrative of what life is supposed to be, what success is, what happiness is, because you're being fed lies about yourself. You know, as Malcolm X says, you have been bamboozled, led astray. Okay. You have been all of that. All right. Hashtag like Guardian Gordon. He likes that. So, but you literally have been bamboozled. And so today's talk is really an eye opener. And some of you are already open to these facts. So if you are, this is a reminder. But open your eyes. Open your eyes to what's happening in the world and what's happening in your own personal life. And that doesn't mean you have to change everything about your life right now. But what that does mean is get closer to nature, get closer to your nature. Ask yourself, really, these roles that you're playing, how important are they really? One way that you can tell how important something is ask yourself 2 questions. Is this what I'm going to be thinking about in 10 years? 10 years is a good marker because most things fade in 10 years. Is this what I'm going to be thinking about in 10 years? That's one question. The second question is this what I'm going to be thinking about on my deathbed? That tells you what's actually important to you. And for the majority of people, what's really important to you is family, love, happiness, joy, doing things that you like, making a difference. Those are the things that at the end of the day, it all boils down to that. Money is never a part of that. Okay? It's never a part of that. Definitely not the deathbed part. Sometimes in 10 years, that could be a thing, right? Depending on what the situations are, because we do need money to live, because again, the society that that has been built for us. But one thing to remember about society and about money is that, yes, we need money. I'm not saying we don't need money. We need money to live in the society that's been built for us, but do not let it rule you. That's the difference. And that doesn't mean don't think it's not important and don't have it. That means don't let it rule you. The problem is not money. Money's not the problem. The problem is the level of importance we give it to our lives and the way we let it manage our energy system, the way we let it activate our nervous system in a negative way. And then we start focusing on just that. And I'm one who was there, and that's how I got smacked in the face and became paralyzed, because I was focused on nothing but money and success. Okay, and that was all that was important to me at the time, and I put all my spirituality to the side. And then when I got smacked in the face, I was like, oh yeah. And I still had money and success after that. So it's not like you can't have that, but my priorities changed, my perspective changed. And I started focusing more on what actually matters is my health, my vessel, my spirituality, my inner power. Okay, my impact on the world. Again, and family and love and all of those things, that's what actually matters in our life. So when you I want you guys to think about what are the things I want you to pay attention today and tomorrow. I want you to pay attention all week. Pay attention to the thoughts that are going through your mind. Just random thoughts that are going through your mind. And pay attention to how often a particular thought comes up. Whatever that is, what are you thinking about mostly throughout the day? That tells you what you're actually focusing on. And then ask yourself, are these things actually important? And they're probably not. If they're not, then what you need to do is start shifting that. And you can simply shift that by focusing and being more aware and mindful of your thoughts and what you're doing, right? And saying, what is actually important to me? Write that down. Write down a list. And I do that every once in a while. I would literally write down a list of what's actually important to me. What do I want out of my life? What is actually important to me? What are the most important things to me in my life right now? Because those things can change. What are the most important things to me in my life right now? And if I'm not focusing on those things on that list right now, and I'm focusing over here, then I'm doing the wrong thing. Sometimes we have to actually make those lists because we're not asking ourselves the right question and we're moving too fast because, again, those roles that we're playing, okay? Again, those roles have been given to us. Those roles have been given to us in our society. We have these false beliefs that all these things are important and they're really not. So be different. Don't be normal. Be different. Be weird. Being weird is focusing on your spirituality, focusing on your health, focusing on what's actually important in your life, getting back to your nature and getting back with nature. Okay, getting back with your soulmate, which is nature. All right, I'm going to read a couple comments. I feel a part two in this topic in the future, probably. All right. And Glow Coach said that's maddening, the measures they go through to keep us under their thumb. Exactly. Exactly. So let's talk about power because I've given this example, I think once before, but I just want to use an example of or analogy of a horse. A horse would never be tamed if it knew its power. A horse is very powerful. If it knew its power, there's no way we would be riding horses. There's no way they'd be pulling anybody's cart. Okay? All they have to do is a back kick and we're out. Okay. So the horse doesn't understand its power. And that's why it's able to be tamed. And using that same example, that's how society and the powers that be that rule society tame us humans, right? Because they take us away from the acknowledgement of our power. That's where religion comes in. Okay, organized religion, that's where that comes in. It takes you away from your power, puts the power out here. That's where be a consumer. You can't grow your own food. Buy it at a grocery store so we can make money off of that. Go do this and buy that. Now you need medicine. Forget about those herbs in your backyard. Those are weeds. We don't like that. We're going to spray them. We're going to call that raggedy, right? Then we're going to sell it back to you. So these are all the things that are going on, right? So we're going to indoctrinate you to believe that this is what you're supposed to have a fully green lawn of grass that does nothing instead of having a garden, instead of doing this. That's success. We don't want an ugly garden. Oh no, that's giving us fruit. That's giving us abundance. We don't want that. That's ugly. We're programmed for the English style, which is the European, again, the Western style life is takes us further away from ourselves. Okay, and that's what's modern, right? And that's where a lot of countries have now adopted that style of living. But I don't see that as a good thing. It's not a good thing. Okay, there are conveniences, right? There are a lot of conveniences, but it's not a good thing when it comes to ourselves and our power, our spirituality, and our sovereignty. Okay, the more they keep you under your thumb, the more they keep you consuming, the more they keep you feeling like you need them. You have to be in this society. You need them for you. Let's even talk about credit. Okay, the credit system. All right, there's an indoctrination there as well. I remember, because I'm 47, so I remember before credit cards existed. Okay, And and people just bought what they could afford. Now everyone's overspending. Now everyone has debt. Okay? Now everyone's underwater. And then there's the credit score that keeps you controlled, because if you don't have a good credit score, you can't go and get this, you can't go and get that. Now you are fully under the control of the economic system and you are stuck in it. Okay? That's another role that you play that keeps you focused elsewhere, not in here. And it makes you easier to control. It turns you into the horse that doesn't know its power and is now tamed and is now able to be ridden and is now dragging carts around. Okay? All right, so they are talking today. All right, I'm so sick of religion. Me too, okay? Me too. And let's dive deeper into the religion aspect too, because that keeps you far away from your power. Far away from your power. Believing in something outside of yourself, forgetting about your own power, not recognizing your own divinity, thinking that, oh no, I can't be divine. Divinity has to be out here. It's something else. It's something other. It's not me, right? So as long as you believe that, you'll never be able to tap into your power and you will always be controlled. And that's what it's about, and that's what it's for. Because you can't have an empire without a lot of people being under control. But the issue is the people under the empire don't know their power. If they knew their power, they know that there's only 10 people above them with the millions of people below that are being downtrodden and stepped on. All they have to do is rise up and those 10 people are gone. That's just an example. Obviously, there's more than 10 people, but my point is, like, the people have the power, okay? But we don't know that we have the power because we're indoctrinated to believe the power lies elsewhere. So the more you believe that and the more you stay normal into that, the more you are just in line with everyone else. Take your power back is the message today. Take your power back, okay? Message. Take your power back and get back with your nature. Get back into your nature. Get back with nature. And do things that are more natural to the way that we should be living, and stop being normal. That's the message. Stop being normal in that aspect. Again, that doesn't mean you can't have your conveniences. You can pick and choose. But the point is, you do need to get back to self, get back to your nature. That will increase your power naturally. Okay? That will increase your health naturally. That will help you live a happier life naturally. Because when we are in nature, okay, and everyone likes a different kind of nature. So whatever kind of nature you like, it doesn't have to be the woods. It could be the beach. It could be anywhere in nature. Just you need nature itself. You need the earth. Okay. So when you get closer to that, then you naturally start getting happier. You naturally start feeling better. You become more resilient because nature is an energy healer. It naturally starts to cleanse you. It naturally connects to your chakras. It naturally begins to release things. Naturally, you don't need anything else. All you need to do is be in nature for that to happen. Now, obviously, there's some deep-rooted things that need to come out with more intention and stuff like that, yes. But if you, without like those deep-rooted traumas not being healed and stuff, if you're just in nature, just the everyday stuff that we go through naturally gets cleansed out. Okay. So that's also, the nature is all of the elements. Okay. Earth, air, fire, water, whatever it is that you enjoy. Okay. These are all natural elements, being with nature, even, metal also. It helps us. And this is why we work with crystals. Okay. That's also nature. All right. We go outside. Being outside is very, very important. Getting sun is very, very important. All of these things. But again, what you put into your vessel, what you put into your body and your energy system is extremely important to your entire life and whether or not you'll be able to achieve what you came here for. So that's what's most important. And that's why the vessel is number one in the 3 pillars of life. So I've said all I had to say. I said what I said. and please apply this. Please apply this. And hopefully today opened your eyes to some things in your life. I really want you to ask yourself those questions I said earlier. I want you to ask yourself about your life, about what's really important, about what you're actually thinking about on a daily basis all day, and shifting your priorities to what's actually important. When you do that, life gets better. Life is not going to get better living for someone else. I'll tell you that right now. Life is not going to get better living for what society says is good. That's not going to make your life what you think it's going to make your life. Okay? Because what society says is good is keeping you with that saddle on. Okay? You're that horse. They're riding you. Okay? Okay, what I'm trying to do is help you get your back legs so you can so you can kick a mofo down. Okay, I'm trying to help you get your power back. All right, so right, there are levels to this. Right, exactly. So if you want to hear more and learn more about how to really get your power back in even a much deeper sense, and also raising your consciousness, definitely get with us with the Pathways to Divine Consciousness and Fulfillment program, which is a program, a connection, I'm sorry, a partnership between Mystic University and Mystic Temple. And it's very, very powerful. It's an ongoing program you can join, and it's just super, super powerful. You will do this and much, much more, much, much more. But people are already, literally raising their consciousness and living happier and more fulfilled lives. And that's what that program is about. All right, so that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I will see you guys again tomorrow on the channel Wisdom Circle. And I will say in the divine language, which essentially means peace be unto you, Zor Kumti, and I'll see you next time. Wait for the song.
They said my edges were too rough, too sharp. Told me to smooth it all out, but I wear my scars like battle art. No fear, no doubt. Staying tall.